How's it going, guys? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and the NFL trade deadline is on November 2nd. So I figured I would make this video and talk about some positions the Colts should trade for if they're going to make a trade before the deadline. Now, let's get the obvious one out of the way first. This is the one that every Colts fan will say, we need to trade for this when you ask them, hey, who should the Colts trade for? And that is safety. When Julian Blackman went out, it showed that our depth wasn't as good as what we thought it initially was. Julian Blackman being out really does hurt. So trading for a safety would be the smart thing to do, whether you're getting somebody who can start or just adding depth to the team. Adding depth is always a good thing because the more talent you have on the team, the better. But I would prefer somebody who's going to start. I think we would all prefer someone who's going to start because, with Julian Blackman being out, we need to have help for Kari Willis. He's going to need some help in that backfield. So trading for safety is something I would definitely do. And I think you can lump in cornerback as well because, we haven't been the healthiest when it comes to our secondary in general. Our cornerbacks haven't really played together an entire game. I think there's been one game where Kenny Moore, Xavier Rhodes, and Rocky Sin played together, and that was the Houston game. Outside of that, either Xavier Rhodes was out or Rocky Sin was out. So I think adding to our corners is something very important. Okay. Because I like Isaiah Rodgers. I like him a lot. When TJ Carey comes back, that's another guy I like a lot too. So I don't think cornerback is as important as safety right now, but I think adding to our cornerback group is also a good thing. And I'll just lump it in. Just secondary in general is the number one thing the Colts should really look at potentially making a trade for if that's something they're going to do. Another thing the Colts should consider looking at is defensive line. We need to add to our defensive line because we're really not getting pressure on the quarterback. It's getting better. I'll admit it is getting better, but I think we need to add more defensive linemen to this team that is going to give us a better chance of getting to the quarterback. That's what we got to do because really, no, defensive line has issues. Obviously, you got DeForest Buckner out there. He's going to do good things. Quiddy Pay is looking good. When Kamoko Toure is healthy, he's another guy that can go in there and do good things. But, you know, another reason why, and speaking of Kamoko Toure, that I think trading for a defensive lineman wouldn't be a bad idea is because we got guys on the defensive line that get hurt. Kamoko Toure, he's somebody who will not stay healthy. It seems like he has never played a year where he's been able to stay healthy. He's always been hurt. So I think adding to our defensive line is very important because our guys are getting banged up and they're getting hurt. And we need to have people on our roster that can go in there and do a good job. I don't think it's as important as safety or cornerback per se, but defensive line is something I think we definitely need to do. And this is the last thing I want to talk about. And it's not a position, it's a player. And I know this is never going to happen. Okay. And I know when I say his name, you're going to be in the comments, you're going to say, well, that's never going to happen. And you're right. It's never going to happen. But I think this is something we should at least consider making a trade for. So the guy that I'm talking about is Brandon Cooks. And again, this will never happen. This is kind of my would love it if we can make it happen, but it's never going to happen type of move. Obviously, Brandon Cooks is not happy. Okay. He tweeted out his frustrations when Mark Ingram was traded. So clearly, he's not happy. He's very upset. And now there's rumors that he could potentially be traded because he wants out. So I think that's something we should at least look at because, yes, we have Michael Pittman, who's awesome. He's been a stud. And yes, when TY is playing, he's great too. And yes, Zach Pascal, he's a guy that can go in there and is very reliable. You have guys like Ashton Doolin, who's came in and stepped up and did pretty good things for us. But Paris Campbell can't stay healthy. T.Y. Hilton is probably not going to be here after this year. So I think adding a number 2 receiver to this team wouldn't be a bad thing at all. And I know it's never going to happen. But if we can get Brandon Cooks on this team, that solidifies our number 1 and number 2 receivers. Obviously, Pittman's our number 1 guy. We're going to get him the ball more often than not. But having a good number 2 receiver is going to help Michael Pittman and make him better. And it's going to help Carson Wentz and it's going to make him play even better. than what he is right now. And he's been really good. So I think adding a solidified number two guy on that team who is your definitive number two receiver is a good idea. Now, how can we do this? Well, this is how I look at it. I think Houston is in need of a running back. We have Marlon Mack, who wants out. I don't know if a trade's going to happen per se. My dogs disagree with me and say, "Oh no, he's going to stay," because they're freaking out upstairs. Don't know if you guys can hear that, but still, Marlon Mack requested a trade. Whether it's going to happen, I don't know. So Houston, I think, needs a running back. So maybe make a trade where it's Marlon Mack for Brandon Cooks. Houston is getting a really good running back, and we're getting a really good receiver in return. Again, never going to happen. But I feel like if a trade in the division was ever going to happen, this might be the one that would work. And it would suck to see Marlon Mack in a Houston Texans jersey, for sure. But I'm just saying, he wants out. He's been good to us. Let's make him happy. He would clearly be running back number one in Houston. Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it's going to happen again, but I figured I would throw Brandon Cooks in there. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new or if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button. We're getting close to 500 subscribers, so I'd appreciate it if you would join us on the journey to 500. Also, click the bell icon. That way you're notified whenever I upload a video or go live on this channel. If you like the video, smack the like button. Let me know in the comments below who you would trade for, and click that link in the description down below. That is a link to my Twitter. I should be promoting it more often, so make sure you click that link. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Matt, Bleed Blue, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you watch one of these other two videos. They're cool. Also, if you're new, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. I greatly appreciate your support.